heading into new beginnings, it's very, very comforting to know that we will be going there with what has become a very welcome and dear friend. Ladies and gentlemen, the announcement.
This is a family. It feels like family. The sponsorship with rugby has been absolutely supreme. I love it. Well, after last Thursday night, I mean, that was better than Viagra.
Through two. Wow! Gets the try. Manfredi wins the grand final for Wigan.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Betfred, who have been title sponsors of the Super League for the last 2 seasons and into 2019, have decided, thankfully for the game, to extend their sponsorship. And to talk now to the 2 men that have spearheaded this re-signing. Please put your hands together. From Super League Europe, Mr. Robert Elson, the Chief Executive. And I'm delighted to say, the boss of Betfred, Mr. Fred Doan. Robert, I'd like to start with you. I don't think I'm going to betray any confidence here if I divulge the private conversation we had. I know this is a deal that you personally particularly were keen to get over the line. It was a group of people and a company you wanted to remain close to. Why was that?
For lots of reasons, Brian. If I may, can I just, first of all, and forgive me, I just think, can I just say how our thoughts are with Janssen Turgott at the moment? And I think the whole game looks at what's happened there, and he clearly faces a tough road back to health, and we wish him all the best in that journey. Can I also just thank everybody for coming along, particularly our coaches, to Steve, to Justin, to Ian, and to Adrian, apologies Adrian, to our players, to Jackson and Ollie for coming along. So thank you for that. If I may, just when I was thinking about coming back into Super League, there were 2 or 3 things, and people have heard me say this before, that really told me it was a great thing to do, and that was Air Commodore Dean Andrew talking about our players, saying they were the closest things he'd ever seen to his most elite soldiers. It was Scott Quinnell looking at the Magic crowd and saying, these people are the best people in the world. And then it was Fred, who I heard at a Man of Steel about 2 years ago say this was the best sport he'd ever worked with. And my experience over the last 12 months shows me that he really means that. And it's important to us to have a partner who sees this as a true partnership. So we are delighted to be working with Betfred for the next 2 years. The focus will be on the money and the rights, which clearly we are absolutely delighted about. But we're delighted to have a partner who is receptive to all the new ideas we want to do. We want to, and we're delighted to have a partner who is proactive in their own right. So they're constantly coming to us with things we can do, with new ideas. And a partner who also, on more than one occasion, is happy to invest more into the sport for some of these great ideas. So it's a real delight. I also know, if I may just say, that so much of this partnership is about people and about trust. And Betfred is a brand and a business that bases everything it does on people and on trust. And I think we've got a wonderful partnership. I saw that firsthand at the new camp, and I should pay credit to, in particular, Steve and Mark from Betfred have worked really hard on this, but also on our team, Rodri Jones and Ted Crowson in particular, who are the people that have made this work. So we're delighted. A long answer to the question, Brian, but we're delighted because we've got a partner who sees this as a partnership, a partner who wants to come on this exciting journey, a partner that puts people at the heart of it, and a partner that's receptive to new ideas and growing it for both our mutual interests.
Fred, you've continuously been effusive in your praise of the sport and the people involved with it. How easy a decision was this for you to make on behalf of your company?
Well, first, let me say that he stole all my thunder. He said everything that I was going to say there, as I promise you. You know, it's we got involved in rugby 3 years ago. It's been a fantastic sponsorship. You know, you as a sponsor, you look for value for money, but there's more than that. There's a relationship here. Everybody is accessible. Everybody is approachable. we find it fantastic to work with these people. And, you know, we think of it as a northern game. Forget a northern game. It's in London, it's in Canada, it's in France, and now it's at the new camp. When I saw it on Saturday, I stuck my chest out when I saw Betfred at the new camp, and it's been a fantastic relationship.
Fred, how did that make you feel as a man that started his first shop not far from here, to see the emblem, the Betfred emblem and the Super League emblem on the new camp pitch on Saturday? I must say I was struck by that. I thought, what a journey you've been on personally, what a journey your company's been on, and what a journey the sport's been on.
Absolutely, and just by coincidence, Betfred have just got a license in Spain. I mean, it was completely unconnected with the sponsorship and new camp, but we have got a license there. And I stick my chest out. I wish my wife was still around, because she was a mad rugby fan, and she would have been very, very proud of what we're doing here.
Proud day all round, Robert. You were at the new camp stadium. I mean, I'm sure you had your chest stuck out as well, seeing the great game of rugby league and the brand of Super League on that stage.
I mean, the takeaway from me, what I kept telling everybody, was I couldn't stop smiling. And Adrian and Chris and I have just been recalling. For me, it felt like a 12-year-old lad on his first ever trip to Wembley. It was a wonderful experience. Walk from the hotel, just that sense of expectation, and then I had the privilege of being able to go into the dressing rooms and walk up those steps onto the pitch, and it was amazing. And we should, and as I have done since then, pay tribute to Catalan Dragons for their vision, for their endeavour, and for everything they put into it, because it created something really special for Super League, something that will go down in the history books, and let's hope it continues.
A point you made, Fred, in an interview a short while ago, you were asked about the geographic expansion of your group of shops. You said it perhaps took you longer to break out of the Greater Manchester area than maybe you would have liked to do on reflection. How important, looking at rugby league now, how important would you think it is that we not only tend to the heartland clubs, but also continue to look around for opportunities such as Barcelona, such as Anfield on the Magic Weekend?
Well, one of the things that I would say to you, my company has grown massively over the last few years, and I hope that we've been instrumental in helping rugby grow, because it is growing and it is an exciting sport. And one of the things that we must always do is thank the people on the shop floor, because they're the graft of it. We sign the checks and we do the deals. They do the work for us, and keep growing rugby. You need to keep growing. Okay,
I want to get a final word from you before I let both of you go. We've got some of the coaches from Super League here. They're preparing their sides for Magic Weekend. They're preparing their sides for the business end of the season. Managing people throughout that period is very difficult. If you could, Fred, from all your years of experience, give the coaches of Super League one word of advice with dealing with pressure and dealing with individuals in pressure environments, what would it be?
I'd say this. I mean, all businesses, all sports are about one thing, and that's people. Look after the people, they take the pressure off you. I don't have any stress or pressure anymore because I'm long in the tooth at it. But other people down the food chain do. And without them, we don't have a business and we don't have a sport.
Fred, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the boss of Betfred, Mr. Fred Doan, and the Chief Executive of Super League Europe, Mr. Robert Elston. Some sage advice for the coaches of Super League. I will hold on to these. I'll invite two of them up on stage here now, please. We've got the Magic Weekend coming up. These two gentlemen are going to close Game 3 of Day 1 of the Magic Weekend. Please put your hands together for the men from last year's Grand Final. They'll be coaching the Wigan Warriors, Adrian Lamb and Steve Price of the Warrington Wolves. Right, boys, I'll simplify this. We'll go back to school to start this interview. I want to grade yourselves A, B, C, D, E, and hopefully not an F. Steve Price, we're going to start with you. Your thoughts and your assessment and your grading of your side so far after 15 rounds?
B+.
Why not an A? Why not an A minus?
We're not as consistent as Saints at the moment. They're flying at the moment. They're playing some really good football, and we've been consistent in a lot of areas and been inconsistent in a couple of things what we really set ourselves on as a football club. So to get that A, it's a continual improvement, and it's still a long season to go. I think we just hit the halfway mark, so we're in a good place. We're in a really good spot at the moment, and the boys are happy, but we still got to improve.
Lammy,
I'd say C minus.
C minus. Okay. Why not a D plus?
Oh, look, I think we just got to look at it realistically, Brian, and it's been a pretty tough start to the season. And we've certainly gone through a lot of players, and where we are at the moment, I just feel that we've done a pretty good job to stay where we are. You know, it's and we're starting to get some players back now, which is great. And unfortunately, the great trip to Barcelona was the first week that we've had the same side 2 weeks in a row, but probably our worst result.
I'll tell you what, this is intriguing for the Magic weekend because you boys go head-to-head just after that Challenge Cup meeting where, I mean, arguably your best performance of the season, albeit in defeat, dropped down in the game against Catalan Dragons in Barcelona. How do you rekindle the efforts, rekindle the spirit of the side to get back to those levels you showed at the Halliwell Jones Stadium?
Yeah, look, I feel that, you know, it was obviously a result that we didn't see coming. And talking to Stephen yesterday, doing a promotion, boys were pretty, I think the build-up of the Challenge Cup took a lot of emotion out of the players, and then to travel over there and get the result we wanted wasn't ideal, the performance, and, you know, a little bit disappointed about that right across the board. So in saying that, I think the best way to respond to that is a performance this weekend to show our fans and just each other that's not us and that we're capable of better.
I hear from you guys all the time. Anybody can beat anybody on their day, and I think you're just trotting out cliches. And then the result filters through. Well, two results really filtered through last Saturday, that the Wakefield Trinity side had gone down in London, and you guys had gone down to Hull, whose side who you had demolished in your previous 3 meetings. So perhaps it does ring true. If you're not on your game in Super League in 2019, you'll come unstuck. Yeah,
100%, Brian. You know, if you're off that little bit, you know, and you're playing good football teams like Hull FC, they're a well-coached team, and they've got a number of good players in their team, and they've been, you know, a bit sidetracked with injuries over the last, you know, first part of the season. They're starting to get a few back. So, yeah, we went at the races in certain areas which we pride ourselves on, and it showed, and we got beat. So, you know, I've said all along, I know what sort of footy team I have, and it's a good football team there. But, you know, we're looking forward to Saturday at Anfield. Who's not? It's going to be a great spectacle, and hopefully all 12 Super League clubs can put on a really good show over the weekend, and, you know, we can attract a lot of new fans.
Right. Why should new fans go and watch you, the Wigan Warriors, in Game 3 on day 1 of the Magic weekend?
New fans?
New fans, old fans. Why should they watch you guys?
Oh, look, I just think that when you think about the whole day or the whole weekend, you get a lot of rugby league in one place, and this is what we're talking about, Betfred, supporting our great game. I think the game's gone to great places at the moment in Super League. It's my first time with the Magic weekend here, but I guess when you look at the new stadium, when you look at the teams playing some great rugby at the moment, I think, and the rugby that's on the field, I think that's the best, I guess, example for rugby league anywhere in the world.
Plenty of threats across that Wigan team when you have a look at it. You guys possess the guy sitting top of the Man of Steel charts at the moment, and a man who's lived up to the marquee billing in Blake Austin. He alone would be a reason to buy a ticket and go and watch the game on the weekend. Yeah,
100%. If you're not a true supporter of rugby league, get down to Anfield because there's going to be some great games. And, you know, Blake's been doing some really good things, you know, for our football club. And, you know, we always talk about team here, and, you know, we're not about individual. It's about all 17. And yeah, it's going to be, you know, a spectacle display of you know, rugby over the 2 days. So you know, it's quite exciting.
Boys, we're going to let you go shortly here, but I want to ask you about the build-up towards the playoffs. And avoid, if you can, we're taking one game at a time, because that doesn't interest me. Adrian, top 5 playoffs this year. History has shown that you really got to be in the top 2 to have a very good chance of getting to the grand final. Will you guys make the top 5?
I'd like to think so, Brian. You know, I think we've got some quality players at the club with a lot of experience and have been in this position a few times over the past couple of years, and they've always responded really well. I think even Leeds, I think, may have won from 5th spot in the past. So whether it's the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th or 5th, there's always an opportunity once you're in there to be able to find your form that you've been looking for all season. Well,
you'd be a fool to be written off, and I'm looking at Betfred's website actually today. They're still giving you a very good chance of making that grand final. Steve Price, top 5 looks like it's assured for you guys. Top 2 would make your job a lot easier. Will you close out on top 2?
Well, that's always the plan, isn't it? But you need to be playing your best footy at the right end of the season. You need the momentum. It's critical. You need your best players on the field, and you need to be injury-free. So there's a number of factors what go into it, and you know, we'll be striving to do our best.
Okay, your second favourites, actually. Betfred make your second favourites. Behind St Helens, you'll be pleased to hear, but not surprised. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Warrington Wolves, Steve Price. From the reigning champions, the Wigan Warriors, please put your hands together for Adrian Lamb. Let's talk now to the man who has been setting the competition on fire with his side. league leaders St Helens, their coach Justin Holbrook, and a man whose side, I suppose, I want to say, has been amongst the most entertaining in the competition thus far, batting well above their average in the eyes of many a good judge. And they gave us that royal entertainment on Sky Sports last week when they were pipped by the Saints. Please put your hands together for Ian Watson from the Salford Red Devils, and St Helens, Justin Holbrook. Before we start, Ian, I want to echo the words of Robert Elston there. The thoughts of everybody, I think, in the rugby league community with a former player of yours, Jansen Turgott.
Yeah, obviously we wish him all the best, and we hope he can pull through and he can recover. Obviously the club are doing a lot at the moment and keeping in touch with his family as some of the players are. As the news filters through, I'm sure they'll pass that on. But just the best wishes with Jansen at this time and his family. And
no doubt the rugby league community will rally around Jansen and his family. I want to take you back to that defeat at the Totally Wicked Stadium. Justin said in a post-match interview, he said, "What a cracking game. I think everybody got something out of that." Did you, as coach of the Salford Red Devils, did you get anything out of that?
Yeah, we did a lot of disappointment at the beginning, straight after the game. We felt we was good enough to go on and win the game, but like everyone says, you kind of never write St Helens off, and they come back and they bit us again, which they did a couple of years ago, St Helens as well, with a last-minute drop goal. So it's obviously a bit of double pain there for us. It would have been nice to have ended the record. But yeah, we got a lot of positives out of there. The fact that we thought they were two very good teams going toe-to-toe with each other, both best attack, best defence in the competition as well, and we pride ourselves on them areas as well, and we have been better at that this year as well, but they just got us at the end. But it's given us a lot of confidence to go forward now to try and get playoff place.
What I found remarkable is we share positions geographically very close on the Totally Wicked Stadium. Our commentary position is right beside your coach. Have you been taking anger management lessons? Because you were quiet. You were quiet relative to what I'm used to hearing, which is expletives.
I didn't think you were going to say that. I thought you were going to say the other way. Look, it is hard as a coach, especially when you're in your own little box. You feel like I'm just sitting there with Longy and Derek Trainer, my academy coach, and you forget that obviously in the heat of the moment, the camera's looking straight at you that you don't know, and then everybody at home saying, "Why are you carrying on like a goose?" So that's not ideal. But for myself, I can't help it. I'm as calm as this till kick-off, and then the game, takes off, and it's a wave of emotion. Good, it's like being on a roller coaster for 80 minutes.
You gave us a roller coaster, didn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was, as I said, a cracking game of rugby league.
Okay, we look forward to the weekend. You boys are going to go and finish the game, the weekend off in Game 3 of Day 2 against the Castleford Tigers. We've got Ollie Holmes of the Castleford Tigers here, who'll be available for interview a little later on. On their day, we know what they can do. Well, we're not just looking for, either St Helens win or Castleford win. We're looking for entertainment for both of you.
Yeah, well, that's I think as a game we've done that this year. I think with all the new rules that Robert's brought in, I think it's made our game more entertaining, and it showed in our game on Friday. And I thought the Warrington-Wigan game the week before was as good as games I've seen. So I think the game's in a really good place. And for Cass, yeah, look, everyone knows they've been disrupted with a lot of injuries this year, so they haven't really been able to get going as they would have liked. But we know what they're capable of. So yeah, we both like to play an entertaining style, and hopefully we get to do that on Sunday.
You guys are going to open up Day 2 against Hull Kingston Rovers. Ian, I'm looking at it, I'm saying a phenomenal season thus far for Salford. People had question marks, about Salford going into this season. You've actually put them to bed. What now are the ambitions for you and your squad? Take us into the dressing rooms privately. What are your ambitions?
Oh, we've got a real strong group, a real core leadership within the team as well, and we want to be the best that we can be. We're not happy with just competing against teams. We want to beat teams, and it's not bothered whether we're playing Warrington, whether we're playing St Helens, whether we're playing Wigan. We want to win and beat them teams. That's our mentality as a group, and we want to push ourselves as far as we can go.
Where's that?
Well, we want to be a playoff place at the end of the year. We feel now we've played half the season. There's not a team for us to fear. We just need to attack the season now, be real confident and worry about ourselves.
Do you guys have to play with a chip on your shoulder? And I'll say that in a polite way. You guys are continuously written off. You got a lower budget than most of the other clubs. Speculation surrounding the future of all your players. You've got to deal with that, and a coach aside to win at the same time. Does that create the cliched siege mentality?
Yeah, in lots of ways. It's a challenge. The big thing what we've done with kind of recruitment this year and even previous years with myself and Ian Bleez is get players who are competitive, who by nature want to compete and want to win. They're not happy to just take part. And we feel we've kind of got a good balance of that. We do have a small squad. We don't have the resources or the finances of other people. But what we are as a group is we're committed and we'll trust each other to get where we need to get to.
And you got one of the most fascinating characters in Super League and one of the best players in Jackson Hastings, another man who will be available. Love listening to him. We had him on Sky Sports. Really interesting character. Obviously knows the game. He's a man, along with Robert Louis. I mean, you got a half-back partnership that'll be the envy of many clubs.
Yeah, we've got a great spine, to be fair. Put Niall Evalds in that and put Joey Lussick in that as well. We've got a great spine, and that's what we've tried to build our team around this year. We've got a tough set of forwards who we know will take us forward, and they know they won't back down to any kind of challenge. And then we've got little bits of the icing on the cake with Kenny CEO on the edges, and now obviously Christian Inu, and obviously bringing big Paulie and gives us a little bit more strike out there now.
I want to talk to you, not about your spine, surprisingly enough, but we had Stevie Owen, who's here representing Sky Sports, do an interview with John Bateman today, who's back over from his stint at the Canberra Raiders, just recovering from that facial injury. Stevie asked him a question. He said, who in Super League do you not miss playing against? He came out with 3 names. All 3 are from your club. Care to guess who they are?
I wish he didn't play so well against us then. Probably Alex Walmsley, Luke Thompson.
2.
I'll say James Roby.
Zeb Taya was the third one.
Sorry, Zeb. Zeb's a great player.
Hey, you've got.
If you're listening, Zeb, you're a great player.
You've got something though, haven't you? If all 3 of the players that John Bateman doesn't like playing against come from your club.
Yeah, well, as I said, he always played well against us, so probably motivated him. But look, it is great for us, and that's, I think, the pleasing thing for me this year. I feel like we're really well balanced right across the field, and obviously we didn't have Alex play since round 5 last year, and Luke Thompson really stepped up, and we've seen Big Al do the same this year when Tom has missed the last 3 or 4 weeks. So, yeah, look, it's great to have sort of strike across the field.
It's an honesty session here as well, so I want you both to be very open and very honest. Will you be at Salford next year?
I've got a contract, so yeah. Unless you know something.
No, I don't. I don't, but it leads me to ask the man beside you. Will you be at St Helens next year, Justin Holbrook?
What, I'll definitely be at Salford. Hopefully, yeah. I meant to catch up with the chairman this week, but we've had some good weather, and I think he's playing some real good golf at the moment.
You're wanted in Super League. You're wanted. People want you to stay in Super League. St Helens fans want you to stay in Super League. Will you stay in Super League?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm enjoying it here. I've said that since day one, and I'm lucky enough going into this weekend. It was my first game 2 years ago. Was the Magic weekend, so I got off to a great start in witnessing what a great competition it is, and what a great event that is. That obviously the NRL have now jumped on the back of. We saw a few weeks ago, and we saw the Big Bash last weekend for championship. So why are you smiling?
Because you can say tweeted, printed, broadcasted. Justin Holbrook's extended his contract to St Helens.
Oh, right. No, as I said, I've got to catch up with the chairman. But no, look, it's a great competition, and everything's going well, and obviously great to have Betfred on for another 2 years. I'll keep talking now.
Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together. You'll see them at Magic Weekend. From Salford Red Devils, Ian Watson, and from St Helens, Justin Holbrook. We'll wind the day up then. Ian BLeezers here. He's very kindly come along. Steve is going to be available. Adrian for interviews. Justin as well. Ian. And as I said, Ollie Holmes, the Castleford Tigers. Fascinating story unfolding there. Will they get back on track? Very few would write them off. And Jackson Hastings as well, ladies and gentlemen. So please feel free to engage with them. It just leaves me to draw a line under today. Thank you very much to Super League for the invitation here to their new headquarters. I think you'll all be very impressed with where they're at and where they're going. And a huge thank you to Mr. Fred Doan and for Betfred. I'm nearly 20 years involved in the sport. I can say without fear of contradiction, they're the most active sponsors Super League has ever had. Long may that continue. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our day. Thank you very much.